Hello everyone, welcome back to Abid Siksa. এতিয়া আমি আজিৰ দিনটোৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ নিউজ আৰ্টিকেল সমূহ আলোচনা কৰিম। সো আজি আলোচনা কৰিবলৈ লোৱা টপিক কেইটা হৈছে প্ৰথমটো হৈছে National Green Tribunal gives the clearance to Great Nicobar Project. Second to Constitution Bench to hear pleas against DPDP Act and 16 Finance Commission and Assam. So এই তিনিটা গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ আৰ্টিকেল আজি যোনকেইটা নিউজ পেপাৰত পাব্লিছ হৈছে আমি তাকে আলোচনা কৰিম। National Green Tribunals gives clearance to Great Nicobar Project. So যেহেতু Great Nicobar Project ক লৈ বহুত debates and discussion চলি আছিলে, finally National Green Tribunals কি কৰিছে clearance দিছে National Great Nicobar Projectৰ কাৰণে। On February 16, 2026, National Green Tribunal dismissed all appeals against the environmental clearance. Jimankhini appeals asile against the environmental clearance for the 92,000 crore project. 92,000 crore project hoy jonto Great Nicobar project hoy tar against the junbila appeals asile hokolo bila ki korise dismiss korise and finally clearance di dise ei projector karone. The National Green Tribunal applied the Doctrine of Balance Approach. Doctrine of Balance Approach apply korise ba hetu follow korise jot neki ki korise prioritizing the project strategic defense and national importance. Project or strategic defense and national importance ok besi gurutto dia hoise while mandating strict compliance. Mandates korise while mandating strict compliance with environmental safeguards. So ki korise while mandating strict compliance with the environmental safeguards here prioritize korise the project strategic defense and national importance aru hey doctrine to loi pini the balance approach jonto doctrine ase hetu loi pini ei jonto project ase tar karone clearance to dia hoise. The tribunal relied on a high powered committee report headed by former environment secretary Leena Nandan. Leena Nandanor Leena Nandane head korisile juntu ei eta committee asile june neki gute report khini banaisile ei project ur uporot to hetur uporot base kori pine rely kori pine ei gute juntu clearance process to se hekhini korise National Green Tribunal se which concluded that no part of the project falls within prohibited ICRZ-IA অর্থাৎ Island Coastal Regulation Zone যোনটো prohibited island coastal regulation zone area আন্ডাৰত পৰা এটা বহুতখিনি ডিবেটস আহি গৈছিল so finally conclude কৰিছে যে তেওঁলোকে no part of the project falls within that prohibited ICRZ-IA island. So project architecture majority project to bikhoy alop on the project spread over 166 square kilometer consists of 4 critical components. Enka beleg dhana infrastructure bonabole loise island to jene dhorok international container transshipment terminal monot rakhibo located at Galathea Bay boli Indian Ocean eta bay ase jot neki eta international container transshipment terminal bonuar kotha project tut ase aims to rival Singapore and Colombo. Greenfield International Airport hobot at the design for a dual use civil military to bolster the Andaman and Nicobar command thik ase power plant of 150 MVA hybrid gas and solar based system aru the integrated township tate bonuar kotha ase jot neki ki koribo facilitate koribo jun deneke facilitate koribo economic aru tourism growth thik ase. So strategic jodi ami rational saw here that the island overlooks the 6-degree channel overlook kore hai island where the Strait of Malacca overlook kore through which nearly 40% of global trade. Strait of Malacca khub eta famous hoda news of thoka eta topic junse neki around 40% of the global trade and China's energy imports pass tar thodi China khub eta China jiman energy imports ase he kuwa hoy je he juntu Malacca eta single ba eta narrow strait ase he phale dia par hoy jay aru bahut dependent hoy he strait tor upor China so yate India ei project ketar joriote eta ki koribo pare Malacca dilemma create koribo pare China uporot. Net security provider enhances India's ability to monitor maritime activity Indo-Pacific and counter the string of pearls strategy. So in the Indo-Pacific area, India opportunity provide korba which enhances India's ability to monitor maritime activity. Maritime activity junbilak hobo tan monitor karone ki koribo India's aru ability bahibo, thik ase? And counter the string of pearls strategy. String of pearls hoise eta project by China যোনটো নেকি ইন্ডিয়ান অceanৰ চাৰিওফালে এটা তেওঁলোকৰ বেসিস বনাই আছে বা বনোৱাৰ এটা প্ৰজেক্ট হয় যাক নেকি নাম দিয়া হৈছে স্ট্ৰিং অফ পেৰ্লছ ইউএছএ দ্বাৰা দিয়া হৈছে সো কয় যে কাউন্টাৰ দ্য ষ্ট্ৰিং অফ পেৰ্লছ তো এই প্ৰজেক্টৰ জৰিয়তে ইণ্ডিয়াৰ এই প্ৰজেক্টৰ জৰিয়তে কাউন্টাৰ কৰিব পাৰিব ষ্ট্ৰিং অফ পেৰ্লছক Act this policy serves as a gateway to Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia le as a gateway kam koribo aligning with the Sagar. Allowing with the Sagar, it will act as a serve as a gateway to Southeast Asia. Security and growth for all in the region. Thik ase Sagar mane hol security and growth for all in the region doctrine. Sagar doctrine logot align kori pini it will serve koribe as a gateway to the South Asia. So environmental and social jodi ami controversies sao kenko dhoroner impacts hobo pare environment and socially thik ase endemic species Galathea bay jehetu Galathea bay ei project tu usorot tate develop korar kotha ase is a major nesting site eta major nesting site hoy leatherback sea turtle er eta nesting site hoy world's largest turtle. Other species affected include the Nicobar megapode and Nicobar macaque. Deforestation, diversion of approximately 130 square kilometer of primary rainforest, approximately 130 square kilometer primary rainforest. Okay, rainforest ki koribo boli koise diversion hoi jabo pare tar folot ki hobo deforestation hobo thik ase tribal rights concerns regarding the Shoppen, a particularly vulnerable tribal group arthat PVTG tate junbilak Shopman tribes ase eta tribe na monot rakhiba tribe tor naam apnaloke Shoppen e Shoppen tribe to thake tate Great Nicobar Island aru one of the PVTGs in India aru ei question ahibo pare exam je kot ase Shoppen tribes thik ase Okay, so and the Nicobarese tribe. Critics argue that mane ei junbilak tribes ase tribes bilakor displacement hobo pare project tur karone. Seismic risk. The region is in seismic zone 5. A region to seismic zone 5 ot pore and the 2024 tsunami caused tectonic subsidence in the some areas of the island. So eta practice question loy hoise here. The Malacca Strait connects which two major water bodies. So khub enaga question ahe Malacca Strait er upor jehetu news thakile mane yer upor question ahatu khub sambhavona thake thik ase so kunta bodies of water bodies connect kore Malacca Strait to South China Sea and Indian Ocean. Okay, next Constitution Bench to hear pleas against DPDP Act. Constitution Bench to hear pleas against DPDP Act. Supreme Court led by Chief Justice Surya Kant has agreed to refer petition challenging the ki challenge korise the Digital Personal Data Protection Act or DPDP Act 2023 to a larger constitution bench refer koribo karone ki hoise agree hoise the Supreme Court which is led by Chief Justice Surya Kant. The core of the dispute is whether the new data law weaponizes privacy to the shield the government from public accountability. So এই গুটে বস্তুখিনিৰ ওপৰত আমি next slides বিলাকত চাম constitutional arguments that is on a petitioner argue korise that DPDP Act violates the several fundamental rights. Jonto DPDP Act ase hetu ek bahut keita fundamental rights of violates kore boli koise kun keita no fundamental rights of violates kore ami takei sam. Article 19(1)(a) freedom of speech and expression. Article 19(1)(a) violates kore joti ki freedom of speech and expression dia ase amak. The right to know is an integral part of free speech. Right to know is the integral part of ki hoy free speech hoy jonto ki freedom of speech tar bhitorot pore Article 19(1)(a). By making information inaccessible, the law restricts this right. Article junto in 44 section 44 3 of the DPDP Act ki kore restrict kore to know the personal information. To ei bostu ki kore boli koise এই violate করে article 91A যত নাকি freedom of speech দিয়া আছে যার আন্ডাৰত নাকি right to know is a integral part. So by making information inaccessible, the law restricts this right. Article 14 there is no right to equality. The law is accused of being manifestly arbitrary by equating the privacy of public officials with that of the private citizens. Private citizens are লগত যোনটো public officials or privacy আছে সেইখিনি equate কৰা বুলি কৈছে আৰু এটো manifestly arbitrary এটা arbitrary action হয় এই বস্তুটো ঠিক আছে and article 21 of কেনেধৰণে violate কৰিছে while privacy is a fundamental right case Puchuswamy judgment the petitioners argue that state is using privacy as a shield for itself which was never the intent of the right. So most of the time আমি দেখা পাও যে state হে privacy to right to privacy to কি কৰিব বিচাৰে as a shield হিচাপে use কৰিব বিচাৰে but হেতু intention নাছিলে যেতিয়া it was created ঠিক আছে key concern raised unguided discretion the term personal information is broad. This could allow authorities to deny information on pension list, MLA expenditure or public recruitment results. So এই বস্তুটো যোনবিলাক personal information যোনটো আছে এই টার্মটো খুব এটা ব্ৰড টার্ম হয় যাৰ আন্ডাৰত নেকি অথৰিটিজ বিলাকক কি কৰিব পাৰে তেওঁলোকক allow কৰিব পাৰে তেওঁলোকৰ এটা স্কোপ আহি যাব যে to deny information on the pension list, MLA expenditure or public recruitment results which citizens should know. The proportionality test. The previous rulings, example, Central Public Information Officers versus SC of India 2019, the court held that privacy must be balanced against the transparency. The new law is seen as discarding this balance. কি বুলি কৈছে আগৰ যোনটো ruling আছিলে তাতে must be balanced against transparency law balance or কথা কোৱা হৈছিলে but the new law is seen as discarding this balance. Accountability if every detail regarding a public official's conduct is labeled personal, investigate journalism and social audits will effectively end. So the gutekhini public officials or কাম বিলাক বা conducts বিলাক label কৰি দিয়া হৈছে personal information বুলি then it will be difficult to investigate journalism and social audits hetu lahe lahe hek hoy jabo it will effectively end. Crucial the case represents a classic right in conflict scenario. ঠিক আছে এটা এই যোনটো কেসটো আছে এটা কি কৰিছে এটা rights to conflict scenario এটা create কৰিছে represent কৰিছে the right to privacy versus the right to information. The Supreme Court's task is to iron out the creases. Supreme Court task to কি হয় the iron out the creases to ensure that the DPDP Act protects citizens' data without making the government a black box of secrecy. Okay, so next our ajir topic to us 16th Finance Commissioner in Assam. How 16th Finance Commissioner junkhini recommendations ase hekhini amar Assamor karone bhal hoy ba beya hoy ba kenuka dhoronor hoy thik ase. So eto eta article ahise the Assam Tribunal editorial portion the 16th Finance Commission chaired by Dr. Arvind Panagaria has submitted its report for the award period 2026-30 to 2031. The recommendations signal a shift from pure equity to a performance-linked fiscal model. Agor jono model asle hetu was based on pure equity and now it has been shifted to a performance-linked fiscal model. So আমি যেটা devolution khini অলপ চাও vertical devolution যদি চাও status quo the commission has maintained the state's share in the central division pool at 41% কি কৰিছে maintain কৰিছে again rejecting the demand of several states to increase it 50%. যোনটো states or share asile hetu agote 50% hetu 50% কৰিব কাৰণে বহুত কেইখন states এ demand কৰিছিলে but to reject korile hone hetu reject kori pini 41% ote maintain korise horizontal devolution jodi ame sa a new criteria contribution to GDP 10% eta notun criteria are jodi contribution to GDP has been introduced rewards economic efficiency jodi 10% contribution contribute kore to the India's GDP central GDP then eta reward mili pabo reward pabo he state to accommodate this wage for income distance and area have been reduced. So increased share Assam's individual share has increased jodi Assamar logot jonto relations ami he 60th finance commission sir jodi junbila recommendations tar par ami ki pao homor kotha Assam's individual share has increased from 3.128% in 15th finance commission to 3.26%. 3.128% or 3.26% increase hoise. This is projected to bring an additional 1,994 crore in the first year alone. Reward for growth. The 10% weightage for GDP contribution benefits Assam as he 10% weightage for GDP is to Assam benefit course as it has recently demonstrated rapid growth on the demand side. Ame jehetu eta rapid growth dekha paisu demand side of Assamor so ei bostute juntu neki notun eta criteria create korise the contribution GDP contributioner to tar karone Assamet olop benefit hoise driven by the capital expenditure and direct benefit transfer jonbila capital expenditure and direct benefit transfer ase tar folot amar Assamat jehetu aru demand side to olop beshi hoi goise demand side to beshi hoi goise aru tar folot juntu ami jodi sauda GDP juntu contribution ase hetu olop beshi hoi goise. Fiscal grant. Assam is said to receive significant grant for rural local bodies. Rural local bodies are kind of about 14,580 crore. Urban local bodies are 3,249 crore. And disaster management are kind of 5,825 crore. These are the amount allocated for these bodies. The commission has laid down strict carrots and sticks for states like Assam and ensure long-term sustainability. To ensure long-term sustainability, debt and deficit kept state must limit fiscal deficit to 3% of the GDP. State bilake must ki koribo lagibo limit its fiscal deficit to 3% of the GSDP. End of budget borrowing. Allow borrowing by state-owned. All borrowings by state-owned entities must now be reflected in the main budget to ensure the transparency. Etapa reflect koribo lagibo main budget the all borrowing by the state-owned entities to ensure transparency. So recommendations for the privatization of discoms. States can only access special assistance for the capital investment after completing the privatization. Subsidy rationalization, move away from the unconditional cash transfer towards better targeting and clear exclusion criteria. So ki koise je move away from the unconditional cash transfer koloi ami move koribo laibo to the better to what should we do? We should do like we move towards safe towards the better targeting and clear exclusion criteria. Then hami jodi olop samay bostu to kane kenka challenges ahibo pare analysis of the challenges cess and searchers. The center still keeps these for itself, they are not shared. This reduces the actual money reaching states. Cess like searchers as a tar folot this reduces the actual money reaching states. Much of this extra money is a conditionality. Much of the extra money is tied to the to performance, example urban reform or power sector changes, meaning Assam must perform to get the full amount. ठीक है sir? Assam must perform to get the full amount. So here eta MCQ practice question লৈ আহিছো ইয়াৰ ওপৰত তো finance 16th finance commissioner ওপৰত question আহিব finance commissioner ওপৰত question আহিব পাৰে. So the provisions regarding the finance commission are contained in which article of the Constitution of India? Kuntu Indian Constitution or kuntu article of Finance Commissioner kotha mention ase ba koa hoise. So article 263, 270, 280, 368. Amar hujjo uttor hobo article 280. ঠিক আছে সো আজিৰ ইমানেই আছিলে আজিৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ আৰ্টিকেলসমূহ তো কাইলৈ আকৌ আমি কাইলৈৰ দিনটোৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ আৰ্টিকেলসমূহ আলোচনা কৰিম আজিলৈ ইমানেই আছিলে থ্যাংক ইউ এভৰিওয়ান